Battle of Vicksburg. The goal for the Americans, the Union, was to take the river, the mighty Mississippi River, control the river, and the only thing that stood in the way was New Orleans, which they already taken, and Vicksburg. This battle is more of a siege. Now, if you know anything about history, a siege is just when you surround a castle or a town, and you stand on the outside and you bombard them, you choke them off and don't allow them to leave. Which by choking them, you're letting them train their supplies. If you look at the dates, it's from May 18th to July 4th, 1863. So in Vicksburg, Mississippi, the Union General Ulysses S. Grant, some useless knowledge. His first name is actually Hiram. His middle name is Ulysses. The S is made up, right? It was a typo or some sort at West Point, and his last name is Grant. So it's actually Hiram Ulysses Grant. The Confederate John C. Pemberton is the general. During this time, there were over 4,800 casualties, but there are also 29,000 Confederates that surrendered. So a major Union victory. So now they own and dominate the Mississippi River, which takes us to, at the end of that, on July 4th, we go to July 1st, backdated 2 days. We have the Battle of Gettysburg. It's the turning point of the Civil War when Robert E. Lee decides he is going to take his forces, the Army of Virginia, Northern Virginia, and cross into the north. And he doesn't find the ground that he wants to fight on. And instead, the Union wins the high ground, places that are cemented in history like the Round Top, Seminary Ridge. They're all where the Union takes it to the Confederates. So if you look, all right, you get the Gettysburg Address is actually, from the Battle of Gettysburg. It's 4 or 5 months after the actual battle when Abraham Lincoln goes and gives that address. 4 years, that address there. We're not going to go over that. We're not even going to have an assignment on it, but know that the Battle of Gettysburg is the turning point of the war. There are over 4,700 Confederates killed, 12,600 wounded, so they lose about 17,000 right off the bat. Confederates lose about 17,000, so it's a very bloody war, battle, excuse me. All right, so it's the last full-scale invasion of the North by the Confederates. Lee can be defeated, raising morale of the Northerners, ended peace and overtures. Gettysburg Address comes later, and it changes the town of Gettysburg forever. All right, so if you go there now, it's a very solemn place. All right, so you have all these other little battles that happen. Battle of the Wilderness happens almost a year later. All right, Ulysses S. Grant is now in charge. All right, Union, lose another 14,000 people in this battle. 9,000, 10,000 Confederates. It's a draw, but the Union lose more forces, and Grant didn't retreat, which Abraham Lincoln loves because he had all these generals before Ulysses S. Grant that wanted to run and flee. Final battle of the war is the Battle of Appomattox Courthouse. This is where the official surrender, ending the war, signed by Robert E. Lee. Robert E. Lee brings his sword to Ulysses S. Grant, and the war ends.